No, Optimus disagreed. If I put my emotional issues aside, and went after him simply because he or she was an enemy, then yes, it would be getting justice. But this is about revenge. Revenge ends up clouding one's judgment and one may end up hurting other that he or she never intended to. Revenge will not bring back those that have been lost. Even if I were to find Alita's killer and finish him, it would not change the fact that she is dead. It will only leave me, with a broken and heavy spark. You know a lot about this, Levi remarked. Wisdom is never granted, Levi, Optimus explained, it must be earned. Sometimes at a cost. Levi didn't say anything as he looked at his reflection in his tea. Optimus truly does understand. He couldn't believe that he was thinking this, but he does. He understood what he was going through. The reason why he didn't trust him was because he thought he would just use them and betray humanity, or maybe abandon them when the going got tough. Instead, he put the weight of a race that was significantly weaker than him on his shoulders. Guess he really is the good guy. I trust you, Levi proclaimed. Optimus looked at Levi in surprise. I don't usually trust people too easily, Levi explained, the world has been too harsh on me to do so. You're different though. You've managed to gain the trust of the Survey Corps and possibly most of humanity. You want what's best in the most bloodless way possible. Levi then drank his last teacup in one shot. So I'm putting my faith in you like everyone else is. Help humanity rise by defeating the Titans. Optimus got over his surprise and nodded his head with understanding and determination. Optimus, you're back. Hanji smiled as Optimus drove to a stop towards the castle. He opened his door before Levi stepped out of his alt mode before Optimus transformed. Hi, Levi. Hanji greeted. Not in the mood, Levi cut off as he walked towards the entrance of the castle. I see he's better now, Hanji remarked. How has interrogation been? Optimus asked. Goddess say, she's a tough nut to crack, Hanji sighed, no matter what we do, questioning, torture, etc., she's not breathing a word. And what's worse, the government want you, Ren, and Annie, to come to Walsena to find out what happened on the mission in 3 days. Depending how interrogation goes until then, who knows if we'll get any information out of her. Do you have any of her files? Optimus asked. No, Hanji answered, I'm doing some snooping right now. May I look at them when you find them? Optimus asked. Sure, Hanji answered, the more help the better. Annie glared at Erwin and Mike as her wounds began to regenerate. She was chained to the chair underground in some castle with no way out. Erwin was sitting in a chair on the other end of the table while Mike was standing next to her. The room she was in was not enough room to transform and run, and that damned metal titan was right outside. She would have been able to crystallize herself to prevent giving any information, but that metal titan was aiming that gun to her back. For some reason the bullets in the gun can disintegrate titan flesh. Imagine what it could do to her. So I'm guessing you're not going to talk, Erwin remarked as Annie didn't say anything. What do you think? Annie thought. Annie slightly grunted as Mike punched her in the face. She spit out blood from her mouth before looking back at Erwin. Erwin, this is getting us nowhere, Mike told him. Annie Lenhart, in 3 days we will be going to Walsena, Erwin informed, if you don't confess to anything right now, you'll end up dead. She wouldn't give over any information to these two. Not by a long shot. Erwin sighed before getting up and walking out the door with Mike following him. Do you really think that we're going to get any information out of her? Mike asked as they stood next to the door. We have to keep trying, Erwin answered, it's only a matter of time before she cracks. We'll try other methods tomorrow. So judging by your faces, I assume you have not received any information, a voice spoke. Erwin and Mike turned to see Optimus and Hanji walking down the hall. Hanji was holding a document while Optimus was holding a tray of stew with bread. Sadly, Erwin answered, she's rather tough. What's with the food? Mike asked, I thought you can't eat human food. It is for Miss Linhart, Optimus answered, I assume she hasn't eaten an entire day since she came after the Survey Corps at the start of the expedition. He'll need the key to her handcuffs, though, Angie added. Erwin didn't say anything as he pulled out the keys to her cuffs and put it on the tray. Good luck. Optimus simply nodded his head before Mike opened the door and Optimus walked in the room. Optimus is also going to interrogate her, Angie informed. How's Optimus going to do that? Mike asked. We managed to get her record and Optimus memorized it, Angie explained. He's not going to attack her physically, but rather mentally. I don't think we're going to be able to hear the conversation with the door in the way, Erwin retorted. Angie smirked as she pulled out 2 cups from behind her. Why do you think I always come prepared? Annie heard the door open and lifted his head from the chair to see a new face walk in the room with a tray of food. She found his clothing rather odd, but widened her eyes in shock as she saw the same symbol that was on the metal Titan. What the hell are you doing here? Annie demanded as she tried to move away from him with no avail. I assume you haven't eaten anything since this morning, Optimus answered as he put the tray in front of her before taking the key off the tray. Annie was going to retort, but her stomach began growling rather loudly. Damn it, she thought. Optimus didn't say anything as he kneeled down and unlocked her right hand before walking over to the other side and unlocking her left hand. What's to stop me from transforming? Annie asked as she raised her right hand to her mouth. Because if you could you would have done so already when Commander Erwin was in the room, Optimus answered as he sat down on the other side of the table. Miss Zoe has done enough experimentation to learn that you cannot transform in tight spaces. Annie quietly scowled as she put her hand down and crossed her arms. She glanced over at the food before slowly moving her hand towards the bread. Before she grabbed it, she pulled her hand back and glared at him. I have not done anything to the food, Optimus stated. Matter of fact, it took me a while to retrieve the food since many were adamant about giving you food. Annie didn't say anything as she grabbed the bread and began eating it. Wow, she didn't realize how hungry she was. You want something in return, Annie said as she finished her bread. You wouldn't really do this for someone without anything in return. What do you think I would want? Optimus asked. Information about the Titans, Annie answered. From what I have been hearing from Commander, you have been adamant about giving information, Optimus said. However, I do not require that for right now. Annie looked at Optimus with skepticism. What could he possibly know? Name, Annie Linhart, age, 16, date of birth, March 22, height, 153 centimeters, weight, 54 kilograms, 104th trainee ranking, 4th, village of birth, unknown, wall of birth, unknown, mother, unknown, father, unknown, siblings, none, Optimus listed. As a matter of fact, your information was recorded around 4 to 5 years ago, near the same time the colossal and armored Titan appeared. Annie slightly tensed up as she clenched her fist under the table. How did he get that information? From what I could gather, I have come to 2 possible conclusions, Optimus declared. The first is that you are an associate with the 2 Titans, meaning that they are Titan shifters as well. The second is that you were born outside of the walls. And place much like humanity's stronghold. How would you know if you're right? Annie challenged, trying to keep her composure. Because you tensed up when I mentioned your information, Optimus stated. Annie widened her eyes in surprise. He saw that? And since you have confirmed my suspicion, I can find out who the other 2 associates are, Optimus declared. I already have one person in mind. You lay a hand on them, I'll. The only reason why you are here is because I was holding back, Optimus admitted. There are many reasons as to why, but one of them was because I was under direct orders from Commander Erwin to capture you. Annie crossed her arms and looked away from Optimus. However, I am willing to offer you something, Optimus began. Annie looked at Optimus. What would you even want to offer me? A choice, Optimus answered. Annie looked at Optimus in surprise before deadpanning. Is this some kind of joke? No, Optimus answered. Then what the hell would you offer me? Annie demanded. The first choice, you can help fight for humanity. I will vouch for you if necessary and possibly train you if you can gain my trust. If you choose not to, I can guarantee you will be tortured for information and disposed of if the Survey Corps no longer needs you. Optimus said. Annie was silent for a moment. What if I'm undecided? Then you will be forced to go to Walsena where the government will decide your fate, Optimus answered. When that happens I will be unable to do anything to help you. Why are you doing that? Annie asked, why are you trying to help me? Because I believe that every sentient being deserves an opportunity for redemption, Optimus answered, tyrants, thieves, killers, destroyers, and you. It got quiet, Hanji remarked as her ear was still on the cup. Do you think he's done interrogating? Mike asked. I'm unsure, Erwin answered as he took his ear off of the cup before pulling it down from the door, but he managed to figure out she's from outside the walls and that she's an associate with the colossal and armored titan. He managed to figure that out? Mike asked in surprise. Hanji grunted in pain as she rubbed the side of her head when Optimus opened the door. Miss Zoe, what are you doing? Optimus asked. Listening to the conversation, Hanji answered. You managed to figure out that there's another stronghold outside of these walls? Erwin asked. It was an assumption, Optimus explained, however, her actions confirmed my suspicion. A village full of Titan shifters, Hanji pondered over, but do you know where it is? Just because there is a village where she hails from, does not mean I know its location, Optimus retorted. Then what about the colossal and armored Titan? Erwin began. You said you had a person in mind. I may be wrong, but if there is a soldier's file with the same information of Miss Linhart's birth and ancestry, then they should be up for suspicion, Optimus explained. I am completely impressed, Hanji smiled. We will continue this conversation tomorrow, Optimus declared. My holoform has been overused and you three need rest. I have another question though, Erwin said. Do you really believe that anyone can change for the better? Yes I do, Optimus answered. Has that ever been proven? Erwin asked. Optimus remained silent as he remembered the Decepticons that changed before he became one with Primus. Yes, many times, Optimus answered. Optimus was quietly resting in his alt mode pondering over Annie. In 2 days, Annie would be sent to Walsena, and she hasn't made her choice yet. He hoped that she would make the right one, but he didn't know much about Annie, so he wasn't sure if she would. Optimus snapped out of his thoughts as he suddenly heard a knock on his door. He turned his side view mirror to see Ren with a rather tired expression on his face. Ren? Optimus questioned, what are you doing up this late? I couldn't sleep, Ren answered sullenly. Can we talk for a bit? Is there something that is troubling you? Optimus asked. Ren didn't say anything as he rubbed his arm. He looked away from Optimus as he slowly nodded his head. Optimus didn't say anything as he opened the door to the passenger seat before Ren climbed inside. Ren sat down and crossed his legs as Optimus closed the door. There was silence between the two as Optimus quietly turned on the heater. Ren, what has been troubling you? Optimus asked through the radio. Ren didn't say anything as he moved his knees close to his chest. Ren, Optimus began. It's my fault they're dead, Ren spoke. I do not understand, Optimus admitted. Levi's squad, Ren clarified, it's my fault they're dead. Ren, you did not kill them, Optimus reminded. Optimus, I made the wrong choice. Ren yelled, I had the power to take on Annie back then. When I was fighting her after they died, I was winning. I could have transformed and stopped her without any of them interfering, or I could have helped you when you were fighting Annie. Ren stopped as tears began falling out of his eyes. Instead I just watched helplessly as they all died right in front of my eyes. It's my fault they're dead. I could have saved them. I could have saved them. It's just like 5 years ago. I could have saved my mom, instead she died in front of my eyes. Optimus didn't say anything as he let Ren cry for a little bit. Ren, what happened to your mother? Optimus asked. Ren looked at the radio before silently wiping some of his tears. It was during the first attack from the colossal and armored Titan. When the colossal one kicked in the wall, some of the boulders crashed into the houses, and mine was one of them. My Kaza and we ran towards the house and found my mom trapped underneath the rubble. We tried to lift the wood, but it was too heavy. My mom told me her legs were crushed, and there was a Titan coming near us. We were both refusing to leave, and then a garrison soldier came. He said that he would take on the Titan, but he got scared and he took me and my Kaza and Ren in the opposite direction. I watched the Titan pull my mother from the rubble and Ren didn't finish the last sentence as more tears came down his face. I was so close. I was so damn close to saving all of them, and I just sat idly by watching them all get killed. Damn it. Ren slammed his fists onto the dashboard as he practically began sobbing as Optimus remained silent. I am sorry, Ren, Optimus apologized, I did not mean to bring up troubling memories. Did it happen to you? Ren asked through his tears, did it happen to you too? Yes, Optimus admitted, it has. Who? Optimus was silent for a moment. His name was Cliffjumper. Ren turned his head towards the radio. Cliffjumper? Yes, Optimus answered, it was a simple scouting procedure when the Decepticons found him. By the time we reached his location, it was too late. Cliffjumper was already gone and killed by the enemy. We were not even able to recover his body. The only thing that was left of him was his horn. You weren't able to recover a body? Ren asked in shock. We were able to find his remain, however, it did not display any life, Optimus answered, we all took the loss very hard. Optimus. Why is the world so cruel? Ren asked. I do not know, Optimus answered. Ren didn't say anything before he continued crying and trembling. He kept on muttering why to himself before suddenly feeling a hand on his back. He kept crying as he was pulled into a gentle hug before clutching the fabric from the shirt. After that he just kept crying in the shirt before falling asleep. Well, that's the ending of that chapter. I do hope you enjoy this video. If you like to see more, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment down below. Until next time.